Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning yoga practice. Thank you so much for coming today. We're going to go ahead and just get started standing at the top of the mat. So just kind of setting up into a nice mountain pose, a nice strong posture. We're going to relax here. Maybe open the palms forward, or maybe just keep them relaxed by your side. And welcoming a nice deep breath as you grow taller through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, feel the shoulders relax a bit more. Maybe feel the shoulders drawing back a bit. And just taking a moment here to bring yourself fully into this present moment. Noticing each breath. And calling your mind here to the elements of yoga. I'm just going to go through them real quick. Mindfulness, to be fully present. Our postures, our asanas, to unite our body and our mind. Our breath, our pranayama, to harness the breath and life force. Meditation, to silence the mind and listen for the soul. Detachment, to let go of external approval. Surrender, to trust the flow of life. Karma, to act with conscious awareness. Discipline, to develop consistency. Compassion, to embody kindness. Awareness, to observe with compassion. Gratitude, to honor the sacred in all things. And Dharma, to live one's true purpose. So with that in mind, bringing gratitude and acceptance to who you are, where you're at. Coming to relax, maybe bringing a soft smile onto your face, knowing that you're exactly where you need to be. Another deep inhale, expand through the lungs. And exhale, let it go. On the next inhale, we'll reach arms overhead, interlacing the fingers and pressing the palms up towards the sky. We'll rise up high onto the tippy toes, really drawing the shoulders down the back, engaging through the legs and core. Exhale, gently releasing the heels, hinging forward, gently bending into the knees as we forward fold. And inhale, rounding all the way back up. Again, we rise, arms overhead, interlace the hands, press the palms up, rising onto the tippy toes. Maybe challenging your balance by gazing upwards. We exhale, release the heels, take another hinge forward, forward fold. And we'll inhale, round all the way back up to standing. One more time here, arms overhead, interlace the hands, press the palms up onto the tippy toes. Staying engaged through the body. Another deep inhale. And exhale, release the heels, take a forward fold. Inhale, rounding it all the way back up. We're going to separate the feet a little bit wider than hip distance here, a slight bend into the knees. And we're going to start to twist from the belly button. You can kind of keep the arms really loose here. And you can take this as slow or as fast as you like. Just trying to unite your breath here, trying to get an exhale on the twist out. Maybe inhale to bring you back to center. Just freeing up some energy along the spine. We're going to go ahead, release from the twist. Turning the toes a little bit outward, still wide, we'll sit down all the way into a squat, lowering the hips, kind of pushing the knees out. Feel free to use props, add any modifications throughout the whole practice. Truly make it your own if you'd like to add any extra movement throughout. We'll go ahead, plant the hands, step the feet back into plank. So shoulders right over the wrist, nice long body, lifted hips. We're gonna just rock forward and back here. Starting to engage the core, feel the belly button pulling back up in towards the spine. And we'll just do some knee taps. So coming into stillness and plank, we'll drop one knee at a time, trying to keep our hips exactly in place. You got this, pressing those shoulder blades away, staying strong. Beautiful, finding a plank. We'll drop both knees and chin and chest to the mat. On the inhale, we'll drop the pelvis and lift up the chest here, finding a cobra back bend. So if you want to stay pretty small with this, you don't even have to straighten the elbows too much. Feel free to take a baby cobra, kind of just starting into the back bend a little bit. If you want to press up even more, feel free, really squeezing the glutes to protect the low back. A deep inhale, expand. And exhale, release the chest down. We're going to find a locust. So it's going to be our legs and arms lifting. You can keep the arms behind you or reach them ahead. We're trying to lift the chest, lift the thighs off the mat, find a locust. Hold here. Inhale. And exhale, release, hands right under the shoulders. We'll inhale, press it up, find another cobra. And exhale, push the hips back towards the heels, find a child's pose, rounding through the spine. Beautiful, another deep connective breath here. Open mouth, exhale. Spreading nice and wide through the fingers here. We're gonna tuck the back toes and start to straighten the legs, coming into our first downward facing dog. Feel free to walk it out a bit here, pedaling the feet. I really want to try to think about those hips lifting as high as you can. The chest falling open, the shoulders are kind of pulling back into their sockets. We're going to inhale forward into plank. Lifting the right leg here in plank. And then extending that leg all the way up and back, find a three-legged dog. Drawing the knee in towards the chest, lowering back into plank. And extending that right leg back into plank. We lift the left leg. Extend all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Drawing the knee in towards the chest, lowering the hips. And extending that left leg back into plank. Beautiful. We'll do one more little flow here. This time, instead of knees, chest, chin, try to keep the knees lifted. Tuck the elbows into the side as we come into a low push-up chaturanga. Inhaling up and open with the chest. Maybe the thighs stay lifted and we're in an upward dog. And whenever you're ready, exhale. Downward facing dog. Whew. Beautiful. We'll go ahead, lift the heels, bend the knees. Feel free to step or hop to the top of the mat, releasing into a forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up to standing. And exhale, release, hands to heart center by your side. Beautiful. We're going to turn here to face the long side of the mat. So in honor of it being a beautiful full moon this week, we're going to go ahead and do moon salutations and kind of build onto it for the standing sequence today. I hope instructions go well and you can follow along. We're going to start at the top of the mat. So we'll be facing the long edge the whole time. We're going to inhale, reach the arms overhead. We'll take the right hand to the left wrist and take a side bend out towards the top of the mat. So I'm not sure if my left or rights will be the same as yours, so maybe I'll try to use more spatial cues Kind of going towards the top of the mat, side bend. We go back to center, step it wide, turning the toes out, bending into the knees. We find a goddess. Nice and strong. Feel those glutes firing it up. Inhale, we rise. Pointing the front toes forward, the back toes kind of towards the long edge. We're going to find a triangle pose. Both knees really straight, long side body here. Staying lifted, turning the gaze up. And then towards the top of the mat, we kind of pivot the hips forward and square into a pyramid pose. So both legs are straight. We're kind of squared hips forward. Maybe use some blocks or books under the hands here to help keep a long spine, open chest. The back knee is going to drop. So we step the foot back, drop the back knee, find a lunge. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, both hands come inside the front leg. We're going to pivot the back leg, find a low Skandasana side lunge. And we'll come through center into a little squat. So staying really nice and low. We just find a low Malasana squat in the center of the mat before shifting to our Skandasana side lunge on the other side towards the back of the mat. We're going to pivot and turn towards the back of the mat, dropping the back knee. Find a lunge here on the other side. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, plant the hands. We're going to tuck the back toes straight in through the front knee. And we're going to ground this back foot a little bit of a shorter distance. The back toes kind of towards the corner, 45-degree out. Pyramid on the other side. Beautiful. We come into our triangle from here. The left arm stays down, or yes. And we're going to pivot the back toes and reach the right arm up. So kind of still always staying open towards the same long edge of the mat, if that helps. We inhale, rise all the way up, turning back into our goddess squat. Stepping both feet together towards the back of the mat, arms overhead. We're going to take a side bend out towards the back of the mat. Left hand grabbing the right wrist this time. And we inhale, come back to center. Release. So that was half of the moon cycle. We're going to go back the other way. Inhaling, reaching arms overhead. We take a side bend out towards the back of the mat. Inhale back through center, feet step wide, toes turn out, sit down into goddess squat. Inhaling up. This time, the back toes are turning towards the back of the mat, and we're taking our triangle out over the back leg. Turning the hips, coming into pyramid here. Straight legs, nice open chest. We drop the back knee. Inhale, reach arms overhead, low lunge. Exhale, hands plant inside this left leg. We're going to pivot into our Skandasana, so low side lunge. Staying low, we come through center into a squat. A low garland Malasana squat before shifting over to our low side lunge towards the top of the mat. We're pivoting forward, find our low lunge forward here. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the back toes. We're lifting off the back knee, finding pyramid. Kind of shortening the stance, turning the back toes out a little bit. Inhaling. And we'll come into triangle, so pivoting the back foot to point towards the long edge, front toes forward. The top arm reaches up. Whew. And you try to get long through the body. Inhale back, up to standing. We find our goddess squat. And then extending straight through the knees, step the feet together towards the top of the mat, reaching arms overhead. Take another side bend out towards the top of the mat. Inhale back up and release. So that was like a whole moon flow there. Hopefully it went well for you. we're gonna just go ahead and add on to it a little bit. So standing at the top of the mat, inhale, arms overhead. We'll take a side bend outwards towards the top, reaching that left arm overhead. We'll step the feet out wide, toes turn out, goddess squat. We'll inhale, straighten through the knees, pigeon toe the toes towards each other as we find a forward fold. A wide-legged forward fold. We're gonna turn the front toes towards the top of the mat. Find our triangle. Trying to stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Bending slightly into the front knee, plant that front hand in front of the front foot. So we're taking into a half moon here. Extending straight into the standing knee, leg. Stacking shoulders, maybe turning the gaze up. And we're gonna square the hips down, finding an assisted warrior 3 here. So the back leg stays lifted, nice and straight and active. If you want, you can try to lift the hands off here, finding a balance in your warrior 3. We'll drop the back foot, kind of pointing those back toes towards the corner of the mat. We extend straight into our pyramid fold once again. We'll take a revolve triangle here. So keeping, for me, it's my left hand grounded. The other right hand kind of sweeps up towards the sky. You're going to take a revolve, whichever foot is in front, that hand is sweeping up. And we release here. The hands, drop the back knee again, step it back, find a low lunge. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, both hands inside of the front leg. We're going to pivot into our low skandasana side lunge. Stay low into a center squat. And shift it over to the skandasana on the other side. We turn, pivot, low lunge, inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, we plant the hands, tuck the back toes, find a pyramid stance. We'll do here, instead of the revolve triangle on this side. No, we'll actually do the revolve triangle on this side. We're gonna square the hips, take that hand that's on the same side as the leading foot, reach it up, take a twist, try to be long. And then exhale, release that hand. We're gonna pivot the back toe, find a triangle. So kind of opening the hips towards the long edge of the mat. Inhale all the way back up. We find another squat here, goddess squat. And then step the toes together towards the back of the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. You take a side bend out towards the back of the mat, turning the gaze up and releasing. Whew. All right, we'll go ahead and go back towards the other side. Inhale, arms overhead. We take a side bend out to the back of the mat. Releasing, stepping the feet wide, turn the toes out, goddess squat. We find another wide-legged forward fold here, pigeon toeing the toes. Take a fold. Trying not to round through the spine too much. No worries if you can't fold very far. And we find our triangle. So towards the back of the mat, we turn those toes forward and reach the front arm up. I don't know which arm it is for you. We'll gaze up. And then square the hips towards the back of the mat. Oh, my apologies. We're gonna take a half moon. So kind of slightly bending into the triangle front leg. We're gonna lift off towards the back of the mat into our balance. Sing half moon. Squaring the hips down, find the warrior 1 on the other side here. Maybe lifting the hands into a balance. We'll ground through the back foot, finding our pyramid fold once again. So this time through, we're going to do some compression lifts through the foot. So grounding through the hands if you can. This might be a little bit challenging, but it's really good compression core, quad exercise. We're going to try to lift this front leg in our pyramid off the ground for a few bumps. So kind of lifting, compressing. And releasing. Oh. We'll drop the back knee, step it back. Find a low lunge, inhale up. Exhale, hands plant inside the leg, Skandasana, low side lunge. The knee and toes turn up towards the sky. We come through center, low squat in the center. And then shifting to Skandasana on the other side. We'll turn, squaring off towards the front of the mat, drop the back knee, inhale, reaching arms overhead. Then exhale, plant the hands, find a pyramid pose. Back toes kind of turning out. We'll do our compression lifts here. So definitely feel free to use some blocks. It would definitely help if you kind of have trouble with the flexibility part, but see if you can get that foot to lift off the top of the mat. Beautiful. All right, returning back into our triangle pose. Turning the back toes towards the long edge, reaching the arms up, extending long through the side body. Inhaling all the way back up. We'll find another goddess squat. And then step the feet together. Take a side bend out to the side. And release. All right, so I think it was a little glitchy there. Might have been a little complex, but that's okay. We're gonna just keep moving with it. So we'll turn towards the front of the mat, just coming back to our regular flow here. So in salutation, whilst we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, take a forward fold. On the inhale, halfway length, enhance the shins, long spine here. And exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back into plank. We'll lower to the ground any way you'd like, maybe a chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. And exhale, push it back and up, downward dog. Whew. Coming to drop the knees here and sit back on the heels. All right, we're just gonna find a seated position towards the edge of the mat, opening the legs out wide. We're gonna do some more kind of compressive exercises if you'd like to try it out. So first, coming into a fold, we'll just hinge forward and maybe just press and lower a few times here. Fold and lift, fold and lift a few times. Beautiful. And now we're trying to take our hands away from the equation as we fold to kind of get more of an exercise going on. So you can bring your hands to your hips or even kind of behind your head. Nice and long, strong body here. We're going to try to fold forward and lift it back up. So you might not be able to fold that far. That's okay. As you kind of practice, you might find that you'll be able to fold a lot deeper. Awesome. Do one more here. And we'll lift it back up. Whew. We'll take a side bend over one side, trying to reach those fingertips for the toes, turning the armpit up towards the ceiling. Inhale back through center, take it to the other side. Side bend. And back through center. Beautiful. A little bit more of a compression exercise. We're going to turn to face one of the extended legs. Both hands are going to press beside the leg, and we're going to try to lift the leg off the ground. So we're kind of just lifting and lowering a whole bunch of times. Whew. You're going to feel it. You got it. Draw some circles. Switch direction. Almost there. And release. Ah. If you do get a cramp, that is pretty normal. Feel free to rub it out. It can be a lot of muscle work there. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. So planting the hands, we're lifting and lowering one leg here. Starting to draw some circles with the leg. Whew. Switching direction. And releasing. Beautiful. You can bring the knees in, kind of plant the feet, do some window shield wipers here. Beautiful. That was a lot on the quad. So we're going to come to a quadricep exercise, our hero's pose. So kind of just planting the hands, we'll come back to sit on our heels like we were. All right. So just leaning back here, there's a few options. If you kind of have trouble with your knees, you might want to keep your ankles right under your sit bones. If you feel okay with the knees, you can bring them out to the side, sit in between the feet. And we're just going to lean it back here. Maybe coming onto the forearms. You can even come all the way down onto the back. Maybe experiment with like squeezing the glutes, maybe lifting the hips, see how good of a stretch you can get here. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, just slowly working your way back up. Just gonna check the time really quick. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just come to a seated position, rolling all the way down onto our backs. Whew. Hugging the knees in and giving yourself a little rock side to side. So we did have kind of a bit of a core compression class going on. We're going to continue to do a little bit of work, except on our backs. So we'll start with kind of a canoe position. We're going to extend both legs out, arms overhead. I'm kind of blanking on the name of this, but you're going to lift the feet and try to lift the shoulders off the mat. Ooh, we're going to hold it here. Try to feel the core pulling in towards the spine. Maybe feel the whole back is flat on the ground except for the shoulders. You got this. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees in. Ooh. Beautiful. Maybe just drawing some circles with the knees here. And we're going to bring one ankle over the lower thigh, kind of coming into a reclining pigeon here. We'll take a moment to stretch the glutes and the hips. Drawing that bottom knee in, maybe pushing the top knee away. Allowing that top thigh to cross over the bottom thigh, and then letting the knees fall. So going to the opposite direction as the leg on top. So if your right leg is on top, you're gonna let your knees fall to the left. If your left knee's on top, you're gonna let the knees fall to the right. We'll turn the gaze, take a nice deep spinal twist. Whatever feels best for you here. We're gonna take some nice deep breaths into the belly. On the inhale, really thinking about the belly button, pushing out, expanding. And on the exhale, feeling about the belly button drawing in towards the spine. Slowly releasing, coming back through center. We'll take our pigeon on the other side. So crossing the other ankle over the thigh and pulling that bottom thigh in towards the chest. A nice deep hip stretch here. Just relax into this. We'll cross the top leg all the way over and we're twisting to the other side. So again, just kind of finding a spinal twist that feels good for you. And breathing into the rib cage. Beautiful. One more deep breath. Feel the belly button push out. And exhale, feel the belly button draw in. We'll come back through center. Oh, Oops, I'm getting upset. Oh my. Okay, I think we're still good here. Sorry about that little phone call. Oh no. We're having a glitch out moment here. I'm not sure if you can still see me or not. Hmm. Um, let's see. Okay. Yes. Beautiful. All right, we're almost there. So on your backs here, we're gonna take a happy baby, just drawing the knees in, trying to bring the arms inside the legs, grab the outsides of the feet, open up wide, take a happy baby, maybe straighten and bend into the knees. Maybe give yourself a little rock side to side. We're gonna go for one more core exercise before our final relaxation. So drawing the knees in towards the chest, we'll give ourselves a really big hug, lifting the shoulders off the ground again. From here, we're just gonna kind of shoot the legs out as we were kind of hovering in this canoe position, still lifting the shoulders, arms overhead, and then hug the knees back in towards the chest. Tight hug, squeeze. We extend it out, straight legs, arms overhead. And then pull it back in, squeeze, staying lifted off the shoulders. You got this. We'll extend it back out. And then bring it back in, squeeze it in nice and tight. Bring it back out. We hold here. Woo-hoo. And hug it back in, releasing the shoulders and head onto the mat. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side, just massaging the low back here. And exhaling all the way out. Extending the legs out, arms by your side. We find our final posture here of relaxation, our shavasana. Just coming to fully relax here. If you'd like, maybe closing the eyes, relaxing through the forehead, through the cheeks, letting go of any control of your breath, of your thoughts. Just coming to simply observe your stream of consciousness, observe what may arise without any judgment. It's kind of the part of the practice where our body is just restoring, put a lot of energy in workout, and just take a time to integrate and restore. I welcome you to stay in this position for much more, a little bit of time if you'd like. You certainly deserve the rest. I'm going to go ahead and just get started moving out, closing off the practice. Starting with a nice deep inhale, full body stretch before rolling onto either side in a fetal position. Gently sitting your way into easy seated pose. One more breath here. If you'd like to join me, a nice deep inhale, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center, maybe gently bowing to yourself. I thank you so much for being here. The divine light in me honors and sees the beautiful light in you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. May all the peace be with you. Thank you so much for practicing.
Bye.